A helpless love is what I've got for you. Take my heart, my mind, my body too. And darling, kiss me like it's the last time. It's hard to trust this feeling, 'cause all my life I've been waiting, 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 waiting for you. I've been praying, 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 praying for you. Waiting for you. A darker time. Maybe one day I'll take it off. That you'll be by my side all my life. I've been waiting for you. I've been praying, 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 praying for you. Coming on your side, till the blue skies fall, till the mountains crack. No, I got your back.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Asia and .NET Fridays. I'm Spume, your host, and I'll also like to introduce Tori as my co-host. Hey, Tori. I hope you're doing well. Why aren't you speaking? Okay, this evening we have our special guest Thabo, who is a software developer and an honor student in computer science. Hey Thabo.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, and you?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Uh,
Okay, yeah. Well, I believe that you have like some entertainment for us, so I'll leave you to it.
okay. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. My name is Thabo, just
Hello?
for anyone who didn't get it. Oh, but welcome, and we
Can you guys can you hear me now?
yeah, we good. We can hear you.
Okay, I'll set up my mic. Oh, hi, Sabo. What's up, dog? How are you? How are you for me? I heard you greeting me now. I don't know, something was wrong with my mic, but I'm back now. We're back on track. Let's see what Sabo has for us.
No problem, man.
Yeah,
I'll be doing a chat app, web based, basically most of it all. But there's a lot of using Azure SQL, so there's a lot of backend stuff that I have to set up and stuff. But I already went ahead and like install some of those things. But I'll just go through, what you need to install, the most important part that you need to install, and some of the things that you need to be aware of when you're working with Azure SQL. Because depending on what language you're using, it can get pretty, pretty complicated, the installation part. But uh, let's get on it, man.
yeah. Please entertain us.
I just want to see what Sabo has in store for us because there's a lot of moving parts. You're talking about Azure, right? This is like a lot. So let's just see what he's got
Yeah, man,
for us today.
there's quite a lot. Uh, okay. Mm,
So you're gonna share your screen now or something?
yeah, I wanna show my screen, but calendar.
Hey, how come we can't
Okay.
see you? Every you said of your turn on your camera. I mean, me and Spumi, we're catching vibes here. We're seeing each other. What's up, buddy? Why you turning on your camera?
Oh
Where are
man,
you, Tab?
I'm not in the best lighting at this moment, man.
Okay, okay.
Damn, man, my
No
brother has
problem.
blocked me out of sharing the screen.
Ooh.
Let me just see if we can sort you out.
Okay. Uh,
Uh, must be a problem. Is your screen sharing already?
yeah. No, I think it's
Okay, wait.
Why me?
Okay, I think you're not sharing, right? Check, Thabo, right? I know StreamYard is still new to you, but that's okay. Right in the bottom, there's something that says share there. Just click that button. Something that says share. It's kind of like Teams. Click that button that says share there. It's fine. It's okay. I know StreamYard is kind of a new thing for you, but hey, we're here to learn, right? This is a tutorial video after all. So,
okay. Can you see that, right?
yeah, there, it's coming
Okay,
in now. It's coming
Oh,
in
coming
okay.
now.
now.
Oh.
Hey.
Just a couple of things that I'll be using that people like you gotta be aware of. Um, I'll be using Flask. Uh,
Ooh, Flask. What is that?
so Flask is a Python web frame that actually uses Ginger engine to render. So it just allows me to write Python code within HTML, basically.
Oh my god. Oh,
So
wait, 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 wait,
yeah,
wait, 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 wait. So does it just job you say you can write Python code inside HTML.
yeah, something like that. It just allows you to use some form of high level languaging within like the HTML code.
That's
So
kind of like this. That's
Wow.
kind of like the same thing with .NET. So in .NET we have this we have this engine called the Razor View engine, and we have something called the Razor syntax. It allows us to write C# inside HTML, which is like
yeah,
crazy.
exactly. So it just allows you to make your website dynamic. So it's like Django, but also Django uses some sort of like Ginger, but I'm using Flask. I find Flask kind of like easier to work with because I like the filing system because I'm like obsessed about file management within any project.
Ah, OCD,
Oh yeah.
OCD. I check.
Um,
So
okay then.
okay, I'm gonna share like I'm trying to find okay there's something that I'm trying to share. Okay, let's do this. Okay, okay.
This is interesting already. For me, they're talking about your territory, Python. Since you're a Python person,
Bruh,
right?
why on HTML? That's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm already interested. You.
So but I already created something. I already created like a web server. But what we when you work with Azure SQL is that they kind of give you a server and a database, but mainly what you do mostly is the server. What the server does is just it allows you to um it allows you to actually create it allows you to like it's like an admin for multiple databases that you may have within that server, so you may have
Mhm.
like multiple databases within the same server. So that's just one of the elements that you can use with Azure SQL. So like I've done other project with this like with SQL, and I wanted to see if it's possible to actually kind of like migrate it to SQL, Azure SQL, because I didn't work
Interesting.
with it before, but when I got into working with this, especially for this project, man, it was just amazing. So what are we gonna do now? The first thing is setting up the environment. Now, you're gonna go to your Azure portal, Azure
Hey,
services. Mostly
my,
right on the
my favorite
dashboard.
cloud provider.
Yeah.
Sorry, they carry on. Sorry, I'm just excited.
No, so man, usually mainly on the homepage, man, you get a bunch of services, whatever you want to use. I'm sure you guys on this channel have done. I've seen a couple of videos and amazing things just showing the how you can use this to maximize whatever project you're working on. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not going to go into it
amazing,
because
amazing.
and if anybody's wondering how this thing works, I'm sure there's a video that you can check out on the right on this channel. So
Yeah, oh yeah.
so what we need to do is we need to create an SQL database, right? So I already have one. So we're gonna click new. Actually, no. Let's do this. let's say resource SQL database, because we need to create like our, and so I
Oh,
already have a
resource.
server that is running. So
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to show everybody how you can create like the server and stuff so that you don't get like confused. So create a new resource. You go to SQL database. So the second, once you get to your create SQL database, you need to set up your server. Like you need to, I have a resource group where I just call demos. This is where I do a bunch of demos and stuff and just test things out. Mostly, I end up deleting most of the servers because sometimes the project I migrate to another, another form of, backend, but here the first thing you see is you're gonna need like set up your subscription,
Uh-huh.
but we with the special ones on Azure for students, right?
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah, guys. So we just told you, right? So for users like normal users, students, there's Azure for students where you get $100 in credits, right? So yeah, that's that. That's what he's talking about. So carry on.
yeah. So you could create like a new resource group, but I'm just gonna keep it as in demos. And just you need to pay attention here because the names are gonna be like very useful. You're gonna need them when you're connecting your databases to your code. So I'm just gonna name this database chat application. Let's see. Oh, it's not taken. And then to get in deeper with this thing, once you need like you're working on a big project, you kind of need to configure your databases depending on what you're going to use it for, and also it also depends on like uh the load that you're going to be taking. You can adjust it. There's a bunch of things you can do here, and also you can also adjust your subscription depending on whether are you scaling or are you not scaling, depending on that, so that you can depend. That's when money is involved and we doing subscriptions and stuff. So I'm just going to take like the basic, because you just can't choose like the basic. We click apply, then that the way we have
Thabo,
configured
can
it.
I step in?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry for disturbance. Just have a question. Instead of SQL, like, could you have used PostgreSQL? Like, is it the same or
Use what?
Fancy. Chris.
like instead of SQL, could you have used PostgreSQL?
Postgre.
Are they the
Okay.
same or what?
Yeah.
I cannot comment because I've never used it.
Okay,
But I'm
no
sure you
problem.
can. I mean, Azure is a cloud provider, so I'm sure they have one of those resources available there.
Yeah,
Okay.
because what you need here is actually what you're doing basically is you're storing messages and then you're also
Yeah.
retrieving. So
Okay.
if you can do that, basically you can do that with any cloud services. I just use SQL because I kind of still like the dirty work
Oh,
of
wait. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm an
Okay.
SQL person myself.
So this you can check your networking and your securities. Here there's another bunch of stuff that you need to do if you're not like doing this for a professional capacity. So this is just for when you like, well, for now, let's say, to save time even, we can go through these things, but they're going to take a long, because I think, man, when you work with SQL on Azure, everything needs its own session, man, because it's big. It has great impact on whatever project that you're doing. So we're just going to skip along the stuff that we're not really needing right now, and we're going to go create. uh so it's initializing our deployment.
Okay.
So deployment in progress. So another thing you're gonna need to create access, authentication for this. Say it should be, actually it should have asked us to do that when we created this thing. But if it doesn't ask us to do that, um,
Ask us to do what?
authentication supposed to have asked us to set up like authentication to the to the SQL. But if it doesn't do that, that means it's going to be using my old ones. Uh,
Okay. I mean,
okay,
you're starting
it's
a new demo, so I think that shouldn't be a problem.
yeah, because I think it's I think another thing is because it's even within the same resource group.
With the scoop,
So
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
so the
oh yeah.
password
I
will
was actually about to say that. I'm like, I saw this was on the same resource group, so you don't really
yeah
need to authenticate twice.
yeah.
It's pretty
So
cool.
so it's going to be using my password that I've been using all this time. So once you've created your servers, man, like you've got a bunch of stuff at the top right there that they're gonna give you. If you have your server admin logins, oh yeah, it's actually using my old ones. Let's just go to it and see. Okay, yeah, it's actually using my old ones. Okay, so you have your server name, and then the next thing is uh on the left panel, man. There's a bunch of stuff that Azure already gives you.
Oh
Activity
yeah.
log, check how the usage and everything, diagnosing of problems. This is where they tell you if there's any problems with the database or your server. It has that, and it also, like, what I like, it also give you like common issues that you might run up with, when you start having those type of issues. Then it has that. It has quick start. So quick start, basically, it's where they have information about the SDKs you need, integrating it with your app. It has, like, I'm just going through these things because, man, like, this thing, it's quite big.
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah. And
so
also, like, for the people who are getting confused about what's happening, what's going on, Azure, what is Azure? We're going to have a separate session about that, explaining what's going on in Azure. But for now, you can just go through the Microsoft Docs and learn the Azure fundamentals learning part. It explained this in detail. So
yeah,
yeah, you
and
can carry
I
on.
was just coming. I was just coming to that, man. The drive and the documentation of that. Yo, people, you gotta read documentation, man. Like, yo,
I
the
hate
document,
documentation.
man,
Yeah.
the documentation on because look, the documentation on this thing is quite important because, first thing is you gotta understand the structure. You can't just be moving
Oh
on
yeah.
to tutorials without structure. You gotta under and SQL in Microsoft, they've detailed about connecting it to Java. When we go down from here, you have your Power Platform also. If you want to do that, because I've seen you guys do something with that. Uh, then this is like you get to your settings. This is where you can configure. Usually in configure, that's when you set up somebody's admin. Like when you want to add another admin to your server. So this is where you add those.
It's kind
And
of like,
also you,
is it like user roles or something like that? Like roles,
yeah, this is
admin, user.
yeah. And also, this is where you can actually still adjust. The pricing plan that we're talking about. Azure still gives you the opportunity to change it. Depending on, are you scaling now? Is your app growing in terms of users, or is whatever your website or whatever it is that you're doing growing? So that's just one of the things that allows you to do in settings and geolocation. You get to adjust. Oh, okay. Because I need to save this thing. So now, what we need to move on, so that we need to get this going, and we need to get into right into the code. We need to
Oh
get
yeah.
to we need to get to connection strings. Now,
What is a connection string? Like, let's say there's a person who doesn't know what a connection string. If you might want to explain it, what is a connection string? I mean, we do know what is it, but like for like the
oh,
users who don't know.
okay.
I don't know.
Basically, connection string is, I was just getting to that, man. Because I was just, connection string is just element, like, let's say, how can I put this? The way I've always understood them is, it's uh, elements that allow you to have access to the server that you've created. We're talking about your server name, your password, your username, um, also your database name as well. So, because remember, that what happens is that when you're using, like, your connection, is that you have your server name, right? And then at the same time, remember that Azure also still allows you to have multiple databases within your the same server, which means that you need also your database, uh, uh, You also need to do the databases on. You need to identify, in terms of names, which databases you want to use. And in terms of also connection strings, you need to identify which language you want to use. Which method of connection are you want to use? Are you more of JDBC, which is just Java development background, which is uses just Java with the back end of Java when you're using Java for back end for Android, for Android and what desktop apps, so when you want to connect Azure SQL to that, you can use JDBC. And then ODBC is what we're going to be using today. Can I just say, I've already installed the drivers I need because it took me a while. And for this we're not going to go deep into the connect to the installation, but what I know is, like I said, Microsoft, there's detailed documentation on the installation of the ODBC if you're using ODBC, and or also whatever drivers that you need on your laptop for whatever language that you're gonna use. There's .NET, there's JDBC, there's ODBC, and then usually I work with PHP a lot, but this time I just I wanted to do something different. There's also one for PHP. You need to install drivers for that, and then
So,
there's one for Go.
sorry to
And
disturb you. Sorry to disturb you. Uh, so these drivers are kind of like SDKs.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
basically.
okay,
Is
okay.
Go
That's
also a
cool.
language?
Oh yeah. This is Go.
It's
What
Uh,
it's
kind
it's
of a
it's,
language is that?
it's a new
it's
language
Java. It's
for
Java.
I think.
A
Yeah,
new one.
a new one. There's a lot coming on, eh?
Oh
It
wow,
uses
that's cool.
the same elements as JavaScript. Like as you can see from the way it's written, even now. Yeah, I think it's along the
Yeah.
same line as JavaScript. I've never used it before, so I wouldn't say. But from the syntax, I can see it's quite a lot of JavaScript and
Okay.
PHP. So
Yes.
we're going to be using ODBC. This is what we're going to be. And the ODBC driver they have here, it's kind of outdated. They're using 13, I'm using 17. So don't be surprised when when it doesn't connect. You need to, this is one of the things that it took me a
So
while
it, I don't
to,
know. So it should be compatible. I don't know. We'll see. Taking a gamble.
yeah.
Fingers crossed.
And also one thing to take, the reason why I didn't want to show the installation as well is that because I use a lot of, I'm on a different OS than I'm not on the installation as well as that because I use a lot of, I'm on a different OS than, oh, so okay, going back to this. So uh,
Is it still deploying?
no, it finished deployment, man. We are long away from deployment, man. We finished.
I'm saying those. I'm just saying those
So
four
what is
dots
that
coming in.
processing? Yeah. What is
Yeah, I'm saying
that?
those four dots. It normally passes when you're deploying something.
Seems like there's something processing there.
Oh, you mean here at the
Uh,
top?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm saying those four
Those
dots.
dots.
Oh no. That's probably just it refreshing, like it does a lot, like it does that when I work.
Mm,
Oh yeah, it does that
okay.
actually.
Okay, can you guys see my? Oh, you still on my web browser, right?
Ah yeah, yeah. I was still on your
Yeah, we
browser.
can see it.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
just
using Mac. Oh, okay.
I just need to switch up. I just need
Hey,
to
I'm not
switch up.
bashing Mac. I'm just saying. I'm like, okay. I'm just so used to Windows. I'm just so used to Windows.
Yeah,
I
no,
wonder.
I've used Windows for the longest time, man. So,
I wonder. I
How
wonder.
was
I
the
wonder
switch up?
how. Yeah, I wonder how's development in Mac. I wonder how it is.
oh
Because
man,
it's.
Yeah, from Windows to Mac.
okay. I'm gonna do this. This is off track, but I'm gonna just say this. It's different. It's daunting, man. Just to install some of these things that I need to use
It's crazy. It's
I
really
Thabo.
crazy.
I Thabo.
But they kind of make sense though. The same thing. Let's say, like, take myself as a .NET developer, right? If I wanna use .NET on Mac, I have to literally download the SDK, literally. Whereas
Yeah,
in Windows, it comes, like, it ships with Windows when you
With
buy
the
your PC.
package.
Yeah,
yeah. So even right now, like the most of the things that we do here, is that even right now, you still need, how can I put this? You still need to install a lot of stuff, especially when you are going to be working with Python. I had to install PyODBC, which I already installed. So the reason why it's PyODBC and not MySQL is because of Azure ODBC. I remember when I took you back that if we're going to be using Python, so we need ODBC. So we need something that is very compatible to that. So I had to install ODBC, and that is just it's just a way to connect to it's another Python SQL way. I think I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that.
yeah. You're
So
not a database person.
I'm
I get it.
just.
Okay, you're a database person.
so
Oh my
like
god.
even right now, I mean, like what we need to do right now, even the database design, like the tables, they count, man. Like even the tables, man. Like I like don't like I'm gonna use two tables, one for users and one for messages, so that you don't confuse yourself as a person. So I'm using Flask. That's another web. So basically, I'm like in terms of web development, there's PHP. So I'm going to be using a couple of things that I will be referencing from PHP because I think that's quite understandable. Because I think most developers, when they start with web, they kind of like PHP is like the norm for most people. And I don't know the name, man. I don't want to lie because like this is called knowing things, and then you gotta specialize in something. You
Yeah,
know.
we just know what's enough to make the app work. That's what we know.
Yeah. So
Thabo,
yeah.
can you please repeat the explanation on ODPC? Like, what is it again?
Okay. OTBC actually is just I don't. I think it's drivers that allow Microsoft Azure to connect to BioODBC, which you use for Python, in order for us to
Oh,
write SQL that could be
oh.
inserted in Azure
So,
database.
also, it's
SQL.
basically an environment that allows Python to talk to Azure. Okay, okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I could put it like that. And so you have to install the drivers. Remember, you
Okay,
have
that
to
makes
install the
sense.
Oh,
drivers.
Okay.
So
I wonder how
without
much space does it take? Cause,
okay, let's not get into the space. Why people are like? It's like they're taunting me. Like I had to do the things that had to be done, man, in order for me to get this thing.
Hey, you have to provide. But so I saw you're gonna share your screen on VS Code, or like, just wanna see
Oh
what's
wait, my screen
happening.
is on. Is it not
It's
on
not
VS Code?
showing. Yeah, it's not
oh
on
no,
VS Code. I thought you did it
Oh,
on
okay.
purpose.
yeah.
Let's get on VS Code. Like right now, we're on VS Code. Okay, let me see. Allow that. Is it showing now?
Not yet.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because it's
Should
like it's saying it's showing on me. It's saying a sharing application window. So
okay. It
Mhm.
should pop up any minute now. Okay,
Okay.
there it is. There it is.
okay. Okay, cool. Okay, let me just pop it up. So, something to know with Flask, you've got like, okay, let me just, I've done this one time. So, like it has a filing structure itself. So what that means is that the filing structure is up in the documentation, man. Like it gets so intense depending on the program. Like I said, I'm very big on file management, hence Flask. So uh, I've already organized everything that I'm gonna use. So what I did is I noticed that this thing is already big and it's hard to cover in an hour or so. So we have. I already did my like so the just to show you that some of that Python code I was talking about. this is just some of those code that I actually like you can be able to write in. And so
Nice.
what Flask also allows you to do is allows you to use those concept of inheritance. you know
Mm.
uh so what
Object-oriented
I did.
programming.
Isn't that
So
in Java, the inheritances and all that?
no, it's
I'm,
it's in every high level language.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean, it's
ooh, high
OOP
level.
basically.
Okay, I like
Yeah,
that.
basically object-oriented programming. It's there.
Yeah, so
Okay.
basically any high level languages, like though there are a lot. So you need like let me just say the top 10 languages that you can see in the most top 10 used languages are high level languages. So
Yeah.
Flask just allows you to work with Python in that manner. So it allows me to do for loops, the if and else statement, just the basics of but there's a lot that you can do. So this is just a basic layout of how it looks. You know, so what I did here is I created like a basic format for the website, the whole entire website, and then I on this chat I just inherited the parent class, and then to this one's become the base classes. If you're looking at in terms of uh, object-oriented programming, and we should do something with that. It's pretty dope. So I just have chats. I have also the user list, but I'm thinking, I'm just gonna like remove the user list, and we're gonna be. So what happens with the chat room is that, if you've like if you're on the database, you're just gonna move straight to the chat room. So it's just gonna be like a group chat rather than having individual, because that's another type of thing. And I'm looking at time. So let's at least get set it up. Now, for me, since we're using Python, everything's already set. This is what I call a config. So we need to import uh, via ODBC. Uh, ODBC. Okay. Okay. So excuse my rustiness. I've been pulling a lot of. I think Tori knows me, man. I've been a lot in the technology.
Oh, I check, bro. It's okay. Take your time. Like how it is when you streaming code. It's like it's a whole different era. It's coding alone.
Yeah. So, okay, what we need next is remember the ODBC code that we had on the website, like switching
Oh
between.
yeah.
So we need to copy that code. I'm just gonna paste it here, and I'm just gonna clean it up for you guys so that it becomes clearer.
Oh, that
Let me.
connection string. Okay.
Yeah, the connection string actually. Oh, so I'm just gonna put it here and then clean it up so that you guys can be able to see. Uh, okay, I need to change that password because it's gonna kill me. This thing is going online. Password I use. So okay, let's just do this for quick. So first you need your server. Your server is already provided by by the you can always find the server name. It's actually here even in your ODBC file. So we just need to create that. Also, what we need next, we need your database name, which you have here. Uh, and then also need your application, chat application database. That is the database that we created. So we also need your username. This username is the one that you use to create your server, which is very important.
Ooh.
But another thing that you need to know with that when you use this password is you have to use public APIs. But there's another way around that, but that's a whole another session. So I'm just gonna like do this the simplest thing possible. So you need to connect that, and then password. So I'm not gonna enter the password now because it's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. You might not want to put that on your production code because might want to exploit your app. You might want to be safe.
Yeah. So
Gotta
and
buy it.
Also, so what are you gonna use since you're using PyODBC? You're going to read, it's like connection, connect, depends on who. It doesn't matter, like it changes in terms of syntax, because MySQL uses a different connect. It sometimes is MySQL dot connect, connection, or sometimes it's just connection. So here it's PyODBC connect.
Uh, so we're just importing libraries right now.
Yeah, right now we're just connecting it to the library. And then remember when I said that I'm going to be using a different uh ODBC driver. So here, I'm not sure if you can see. I'm not sure how the quality is. It's that they're using like it's still on 13. I don't know why, but when you do it with 13, it just gives you're gonna spend hours on this thing. So
Or it's just
17
bugs.
works. So 17 is the current version that most people use. So it's just we're going to change that to 17. And okay, we need to add a couple of things. So okay, I think that's it from the file that we copied, and then we just need to, since we are connecting, we just need to call a couple of things. Now, this thing needs to be in curly brackets. It's quite important that is in curly brackets. Uh, and then you just need to type in your server. It gets quite complicated. If this was a recorded session, this is around about the time when you just stop the video, copy everything, and just paste.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's the thing with streaming code. It's a whole new different era as compared to only
Yeah,
coding alone. Streaming is like there's
it's
time
a,
going up. You know.
it's a whole new different era, and so okay, we need to create a database. So case is very important in programming, man. We know that a
With
small letter,
SQL.
Those are not
Oh
the
yeah.
same as the capital letters.
Yeah,
yeah.
SQL
So
is like case sensitive.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and this is quite actually memorable query, like occasion for me, because first time I started this, with not necessarily when I got to university, I used Python.
It was your
And
first language that you learned?
no, my first language was I'm Java all the way, man. I just new technologies could come in. I could, like,
Okay.
I could never be convinced of any other language other than Java, man. It's just always how it's always have been for me.
Oh yeah, same with me. Like I'm a C# person. Like okay, maybe I might learn JavaScript for front end, but hey, I'm a C# person. I don't know. That's just how it is.
Wow,
It's just
I wouldn't know which one to choose, Shem. I wouldn't know because once I know the language, I understand it. I enjoy it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean the thing is you gotta find something to specialize in. You know,
yeah, that's true.
a lot of errors that I see is that people are so overwhelmed with what's new. There are a lot of languages that are coming out every single day.
hey, every day. It's just so hard to keep up nowadays. Oh,
There's a framework that we don't know about. So okay, so guys, I know you see me writing a bunch of code. The thing about writing code is that now what I did is basically I'm just calling. I'm just connecting it with the server, the initials that I've like the initial let me say variables because that's the correct term, variables. I'm just matching it to the right type because you know how SQL is. You gotta like server and small case server is not the same, so you just gotta differentiate that,
oh yeah.
and then I think after you differentiate that, everything is cool. Uh, Let me just go through okay, yeah, we're missing something here. Oh, capital letter. So you see the driver equals. So now this is the driver that is very important into connecting with SQL database. So okay, we've got that, and then what do we need next? Okay, let's check. Another thing, you gotta check your quotations because they get they man they could like do some serious damage to you for like whole hours thinking that this thing is not working, and
Oh
it's you not implementing the right quotation mark. So
oh yeah, that's
There
SQL
are
for you.
always minor mistakes in coding, bro.
yeah, but see, what I do is I always install um extensions that. So I need to call Kessa. Kessa is just a method within MySQL that is used just as a connection based. It's a function that exists even within MySQL. It exists even within PyODBC. Now the thing is, I don't want to show my password, and in order for me to run this, I have to type in my password. So uh,
Oh yeah, I'm watching. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm
Watch
playing.
out for Tori.
I'm playing.
so uh, so guys, I'm sorry about this, because I'm just gonna stop sharing for like a minute,
Yeah,
and
no
then
problem.
Always gonna be safe, eh? It's always some
Yeah.
people you don't know who's watching.
Hmm.
You don't know who's
You
watching.
never know.
I might keep putting the notes and I said like, hey, I remember Thabo was okay. Let me just you never know.
For real, yeah.
oh, it seems like we've okay. It seems like we're good so far. I don't see any. Uh, okay. Okay. So now we get to coding. So okay, let me just.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still gonna need this file. Okay, yeah, I can hide that. So let me bring you guys back. I apologize. Live streaming code, it's a whole new different game, people. Uh, okay, we good. So we got that sorted out. Now we need to do tables, right? But you can do tables, and something I need to mention. Azure has something they call Azure Data Studio. You can get it as a it's actually an app. It's a tied some sort like VS Code. Oh, okay. It's like VS Code. Let me just see if it's gone. Oh, okay. So it's like VS Code, but it's just for databases. It just allows you to visualize your tables, right? So we're gonna leave the tables out, and then I want us to get onto the server side, because I want us to start working with Flask and a lot of these things, which are very quite important. And we're just going to be creating the one thing I want to mention is we're gonna be doing a session, a web, in a web browser, you want to put a person in a session. So basically, they can still use the browser, but you want it to so that when you come back, I don't want you to be locked in. You know, so it's just the way session is a temporary storage, for browsers or for web servers. So what happens is they put you in that temporary storage, and then whenever you log out or whenever you close your browser, it automatically kicks you out. And I'm sure you've seen this even in with Azure portal, where if you take a long time not coming back to the tab, it actually kicks you out and then requires you to actually log in again. So
Oh
that's
yeah,
just a
for
session.
sure.
So that's
For
just the
sure.
session. It's just even like I think the term explains itself to a certain degree. So first we need to import Flask. Remember, I already have Flask. If you're using like Flask, you can install it using PIP. PIP, depending on which version of PIP you're using, you can use PIP 3 or PIP of Flask, and then it will just install Flask. So just from Flask, we need to import. Okay, I need to. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah, we can
Oh
see
yeah,
it.
we can. We can also see your screen. We can.
Okay, we need to import Flask. Uh, Flask. So now within Flask, we also need a couple of things. Flask uses something we call render template. This is just so that it can be able to read your your HTML file. So you need to create a folder called templates. It's very important. It needs to be exactly templates. That's just one of the key things about Flask. It teaches you file management, because I've looked at projects where I have to find classes, and you guys, let's learn my file management. It's quite important in maintenance. So we
OCD. I carry on. Check. You see you there. You see you there.
So we need to call a method. I'm not sure if it's a method, but we need to call something called Flask request. We're gonna use it to get the text from the form, the login form, the typing, the sending of message forms. We're gonna use that, and then Flask comes with session. So what Flask allows you to also do is allows you to put people in like sessions, and it comes with that. And it's just as simple as importing session, and you're gonna see how we use it. I'm not sure on how I am on time, and I'm not sure how how much we're gonna do. And also redirect is just a way of redirecting you to a certain page after you did a certain action, or let me say
It's a
maybe
landing
after.
page, basically. Oh, okay.
Yeah, not necessarily a landing page. Let's say you press a button that is supposed to take you somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you're logging out. You can use redirect. It's just it's an alternative form to render template.
Oh,
You know,
okay. Okay, that makes
and
sense.
another one is URL four. It's another form of redirect or render template. It differs in terms of how you use it. And then Flash, we need to import Flash. Now, Flash is a way of let me say it's an alert. You know how you in JavaScript you use alert in it's a print. A Flask has that. It's Flash, and then okay. Now we need to import our config file from config.
A lot of libraries are important. Eh? So this is kind of like
Mm.
I'm gonna relate this to like .NET a lot. In .NET, when you're working with a lot of libraries, most of the libraries are built in. So you just call
Yeah,
in you namespaces. You say using dot this. So it's kind
yeah.
of simple. I'm looking
So
at it.
there's actually quite nothing that I'm doing. That everything is pre-installed. So
You just call in it.
yeah, we need to initialize the app, which is Flask. The name. So this is how we initialize. Okay, this is how we initialize Flask. So with Flask is that the reason we use name is because a lot of things happen under the hood. But if you've ran a Python file, you also need to know that you also need to create a main method, which is most of the time is if under double underscore name and double score name. Because I hear that I have a Python person in present here, so they know what I'm talking about.
Oh
If
yeah,
they don't,
wait there.
it's a question of
Yeah, I remember that thing, name with the main method inside it and all that.
yeah, yeah. So we just need app.run. So we are just running this variable that we've just created. Actually, we're just running the Flask that we've just initialized at the top. So well, that will equal sign, and then debug. We need to initialize debug true. This is just so that whenever we save our file, it automatically runs on the web on the browser, so that we don't have to go to the browser and refresh. So it comes very handy when you're working with dual monitors. Like if in programming you don't have dual monitors, man. Hey.
Oh, I want that. I want dual monitors. So I'm having one is like not enough. Yo.
Yeah, man. Like
Why? Because it's crashes or what?
so,
Yeah,
I'm not
'cause
sure if I'm losing anyone in the comments, man. I'll answer it right now. So, probably if we don't finish, here's what I'll do. I'll have the guys have me back for a finishing session,
oh yeah,
and
most definitely. But th- I,
Oh, we
I think
have
right now
to.
we still have like 15 minutes, so I think that's quite a
Mhm.
lot
okay.
to
So
go.
let me just run this, and then we can take like a 15 minutes questions of what we've done so far. If they have any questions, and if you guys like, so we need to do what they call an app rule. This is this is something that I've been working with Flutter, and this is something that is also remnant in Flutter as well. Is that app root is just a way of you directing. It's. Let me put it straight. Let me put it in simple terms. It's just a way of saying I want you to go to a something slash. You know. So let me say Azure slash. That's just the way of you just. It's just a form of redirecting. You're saying I want you after you execute this method. I want you to go here. So what we need now is we need a root. You don't definitely have to like do this, but you can. So we can do a function called root. So basically now we're just writing basic Python. Uh, so we need to do a function called root. Now, in terms of, let me just root and let's pass that. We need a function also called login because hey, you gotta log in. Uh, let me okay. Let me pass that, and then we also need to do um, a register method. Don't mind my casing because I don't know what it is with Python, but whenever I use it, I tend to use undercased letters. So we need to do register, and now it might get a little bit complicated, but we need to do a method called chat. Now, basically, chat. What will be happening in chat is just saving messages on the database and then collecting it. But we're going to talk about it when we get there. So so in terms of root, remember when I talked about render template? So render template is just a way of returning how can I put it's just a way of returning the homepage or whatever homepage you
Oh
want it
yeah,
to be.
yeah. I know.
Of
I
the
know. I know.
chat,
I know,
of the chat
I
room.
know the. Oh yeah, I know the render library. Like it's kind of like most of the time we use it to render partial views in .NET, so that kind of makes sense. So you want to have
Yeah.
like a specific template you want to pull in on a certain action. That makes
So
sense.
Python, so we need to return a render template in brackets in quotation marks index.html. Index.html, that's our login page. As you can see, so the extend and layout.html at the top is just it's part of inheritance. As you can see, this is not your usual HTML code here. There's some things happening here.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a lot of good looking things here that's
There's
happening.
also form. Yo.
I'm
so
seeing block body, a lot of good things going on there.
so so block body. Let me pull out this. So block body, it's actually this area here. So what I'm doing is it's dynamic programming. So I'm making the page dynamic. So
Dynamic. Oh, what does that mean? I'm
uh,
just asking. Like, I want to make sure that I understand what's going on fully.
okay.
I'm not a front-end person. Like I'm from a back-end dude who doesn't really care about optimization. As long as the server side works, we're done. So
Yeah,
all those
so
fancy
that's
terms.
you see the thing is you see when you do full stack, man, you get to appreciate both ends.
Well, I'm not full stack yet, so I'm learning. I'm learning. Best
So,
by best.
man, so I do, but the company I work for is an intern. Like I do a lot of front end work for them. So, uh, so you need like this blog part is actually what you're doing is every time you're like every time Flask is rendering through something, it's actually taking this original layout and just putting a block on it, and then just it's going to read the layout.html because, like I said, naming and it's important in Flask. So it's just going to take this and recognize okay, I'm being called within the body block tags, or what's going on there. So, above me, there's a page that is already going on. Now, there's something that I didn't talk about, which I forgot, is that the way you link in HTML. You see, if you can look at this, the way we link files in HTML, it's usually you use the folder name, usually maybe see it's assets slash CSS. When you talk about proper
Yeah,
file management,
yeah.
assets
Most
slash
of the
CSS
time, this is
slash whatever
different.
file that is. So in here you use curly brackets, double curly brackets. So within that curly brackets, you have URL
Why?
for. Oh, it's just had the syntax of the, like I said,
Oh, okay.
some
The
of the
syntax. Okay. The sugar
syntax.
syntax.
Yeah, these things are just syntax. It's not necessarily it's just the way like it's syntax. As if you realize that even most of the code that I've written in blog and the the the, the modulo sign, is that it's also accompanied by curly brackets, is because it's the syntax of this language of Flask, and the language that I'm using currently. So what you're going to do is you're going to say URL4. What comes before after that is like URL4 is brackets, and then inside brackets you have quotation marks. Is that you have the first thing that comes up? It's the file name, which is static. Now the static file is where you put your CSS, your JavaScript, all those files that don't, like, basically if you look at it from static, it means it doesn't change. So and then you do file name equals in again quotation mark single. I don't know why, but I've been using a lot of single. Maybe it's because I've been doing a lot of Flutter. I don't know why, but I've taken accustomed to this single quotation marks. So single slash CSS slash style, and then you get then it's going to render your CSS file. So what I want to do now is, I know I haven't shown you guys I don't know if it's gonna work, but I haven't shown you guys the. Okay, let me save this. I haven't shown you guys okay, let's see if it works. Let me see. Oh, I'm running the wrong file. Damn it. So
How much stuff do we have left to do? I just want to see the snap. I want to see it. I just want to see it.
we still have we still have we still have a bunch of stuff. We still have the login page to do, so basically we've been setting up. So okay, let's see if it does not give out any errors. I'm just gonna bring you guys to this just to show you how it looks. And I apologize, man. I come from a very, like, I work with front end stuff, and I'm just allergic to horrible looking things. It's nothing.
Learning curve, basically.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna pull that up. So this is where we are headed right here. Can
But
you
it's
see
okay.
that?
I mean, it's not showing yet. Okay, while the screen is about to show. So guys, for all of you who are watching right now, if we stop here and don't finish, don't you worry, we're gonna have part two of this, because at the end of the day, we want to see a running app. You can't just build an app and leave it hanging. That's not how
I want
development
to see
works.
the end product.
So yeah, if we don't finish this, because right now we have like 5 minutes left. That's fine. We just wrap up what we can, and then we'll have part two, definitely.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Like, it's okay. I don't know what's going on. Is it showing yet, guys?
No.
It's coming up.
Let's wait for it.
Okay. Okay, because it's like it's showing grayness on my side, so I don't know what's going
Maybe your
on.
PC is freezing. I don't know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just saying. I'm kidding. How heavy is the stuff you're running there? When you're using VS Code, VS Code doesn't really strangle that much on your RAM and CPU.
Oh man,
So,
dude, this is a developer's laptop, so VS Code or no VS Code,
Oh
there's
yeah.
always something running in the background.
oh,
Okay.
what? Oh, yeah.
Okay, the
If you
thing
run,
is, it's showing gray on my side. I don't know why. Like, I can see the screen at the bottom, but I don't see it at I don't see it showing
Here it
up on.
is.
yeah, it
Oh,
is.
okay.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chat
So,
app. Okay.
basically, this is
Ooh.
like the login page.
Ah, okay.
This is like the login. Man, this is nothing here. Yeah,
Okay.
I just went simple. I just went with the name. So I'm trying to keep things simple. So so it's just you're gonna use your name as a as a moving forward target. So I didn't do, because if I get into database design, that's another thing else, because you need to
No.
get into primary keys and make sure that the tables link, so there's
The
just a lot of
schema alone is just crazy.
yeah. So I just wanted to keep things simple, straight to the point, because the idea here is also like for understanding. If you get it and you understand it, I'm sure you can apply it to anything. Because beyond even chat apps, I've seen a lot being done with Python lately in terms of like what you can do, like back end. Because I love working with high level languages, and I was bummed that you can't use any high level language within. I was bummed that I can't use Java within HTML. That was like, yo, hey, this is because Java is my rock. That thing, and I like it. So, with the chat app, I think I'm gonna leave everything where it is, for now. Because and now I'm gonna take like questions. You can ask questions. Because I think if I go any further. Okay, we need to remove. I need to remove. So, what we'll do in the next session, because I think everybody now is up to speed with the setting up and everything. I think in the next one we can do. We can now start getting into okay, talking like doing the sessions, doing the logins, doing the registering. We also have to make sure that if you are not registered, we have to redirect you to register. We have to
Uh-huh.
we have to also make sure that your name is also saved on the database. Maybe I'm just not gonna bring a lot of crazy stuff into it, but I don't know when we're gonna do it, the part two, man. But I'm sure I'll hear from you guys. So how do you feel about leaving it here, man, with rendering the template? We're just getting into it, we finish setting up. uh
Well,
I
since
think it's
time
cool.
is not on our side, I mean, we've
Yeah.
done so much, a lot. Like we've done so much so far, and some people might be confused about certain things, and some might be digesting as I am. Like I learned a lot today, but I'm still trying to
Whew.
process a lot of it. There's like a lot of moving parts, especially
oh
as a
man,
person who comes from a different stack. I'm processing all of it,
I
but it's
was a
very
very
informative.
I was very excited. I even forgot to mention, guys, this was supposed to be, somewhat after beginner towards intermediate. Like that was the like throughout me preparing this presentation was like, okay, I need to mention that. I need to mention that. Guys, I'm sure excitement got to me. I forgot to just like bring
Oh,
that up.
shame.
But
Sorry to you,
but at
yeah.
least but at least some of the stuff you explained, they kind of make sense. Most of them made sense. They just need time, to, like rewatch it
Yeah,
and process.
to breathe, man. The in filmmaking they call it. You have to let the scene breathe. You
Mm.
can't rush it. So yeah, I mean,
I'm
one
just
of
happy
those.
that you were using languages I knew.
No, actually, like, oh man, like, hey man, I didn't want like I wanted to use. I wanted to do something different in terms of like yeah, Python is quite powerful. It's AI, machine learning, those things. But I wanted to also
And
bring it back and be like, yo, guys, remember the roots. This is where it all started.
Mm.
Because I think we're closing up. And I mean, are there any questions that people having any questions on the stream? Uh,
Mm. Sure.
the stream is a little bit quiet. Some of the questions that I asked were in the
Yeah.
stream, right? Some of the questions I was asking you, like those simple questions, kind of, right? So they were kind of, what was happening and what people wanted to know. But I think for part one, everything is kind of clear. So you might want to see what part two has in store for us, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
By the
I
way,
think it's
Thabo, yeah, thank you for
yeah.
joining us, man. Like you, it was a
No,
nice
no.
session. It was a nice
Mhm.
session.
Oh, no.
And to the viewers, oh, you were
Oh,
saying something? Sorry.
before you close off, man, I actually talked to this about story.
Uh,
I don't.
oh, the
Okay, guys.
sponsors.
So there's a company Yolanda might know it. Uh, they actually are giving out two kits. It's a robotics kit and a sensor kit, if I remember properly. So I'll leave it to you guys as the creators of the group and this. And one thing, they're very interested in the channel, like they like your channel. Uh,
Ooh, okay, that's
quite.
nice. Tell them to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, share.
So,
Yes.
but if you're
Yes,
just interested, the company is Algo at Work Robotics Academy. Man, they do some wonderful stuff with kids. So they're giving. I don't know how you guys are gonna distribute that, but Tori can hit me up privately and about that, and I'll hook you. I'll say I'll actually connect you with the guys so that you can be able to do the logistics. And don't worry about delivery; they got you covered on that one. So
Ooh, the guys will have
whoever
it handled.
gets it,
I like that.
guys. So the Algorithm Robotics Academy, they're actually sponsoring this episode of you guys up. So hopefully I'll get hopefully if everything goes well, I'll get another sponsor for the second episode of part two.
Oh,
So
please.
so yes, because I'm like I was also working on another deal where I can get you guys on some pretty good deals in terms of buying, but we'll talk in part two, guys. So
Oh, wait. Oh, guys, you know what? This is so exciting. Now you know what part two is in store for us towards the end of the session. So just make sure you come
Yeah.
back to part two, like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, share to your friends. There's so much you have in store
Mm-hmm.
in the InspireSA channel. So part two
Yes.
might be exciting
coming
one.
up.
I just want to see what they have. Anyways, you got any last words for me before we just close off?
Oh no. To the first time viewers, thank you guys for joining us. Hope you subscribe, like, share, and comment. Like share with your friends, guys who have to share with their friends, you know the drill. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much,
For part
That
two,
everyone.
I'm
was
not
love.
sure my face, guys. So just I wasn't in quite a pretty good setting now, but for part two, you definitely see my face. And I apologize for those that wanted to see me. I usually just come in within the tech world and see what's up, and then just go back to doing what I do most, which is development. And I hate the spotlight. So,
Well, next
guys,
time we hope to see you. We hope to see you next time.
Yes, yo.
So,
you
you
see
want to
me,
see this
guys.
full stack developer?
Thank you, guys, at InspireSA, for this. And let's grow. And even for part two, if you're interested in collaborating, I'm open. Just text, and we can even expand it more because there's this thing is limitless, man. There's quite a things that you can do with this thing. So
Oh yeah,
if
oh
you
yeah,
have like
oh
an
yeah.
improvement again, so just hit me up, and then we'll see how we can adjust it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Did you
so
see
much, Thabo.
Yolanda's comment? Free stuff, good vibes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yolanda. Okay,
Anyways, guys,
yeah, I
thank
guess
you for
that is
joining us.
it.
We'll see you on Monday on Interview Mondays because we're running this thing on weekly basis. So you just speak whatever you like.
Yeah.
I always like saying this was the end of the session. Mondays we have Interview Mondays, where we just interview people in the tech industry about what's cutting and how they can help us as students or people want to get in. And on Tuesday we have AI Tuesdays. We just explore the wonders of AI and machine learning. And then one of my personal favorites, Women in Tech Wednesdays. That's a really powerful
Yes.
one. Women run the world, but whatever, we're not there. So we also have Women in Tech Wednesdays, where we're just women who just share their
Mhm.
ideas on tech, and Power Thursdays, low code, where you just create this amazing applications without writing in a single line of code. And lastly, .NET Fridays that we're having today. So just make sure you stay tuned and we'll see you guys on Monday. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.